Hello, here's Trial. Welcome to the latest episode of Talk. So from the last episode, we just talked about the team, the American East and American Central, for their team analysis and their top 200 players for each team. So in this episode, we'll just keep talking about American West and National East, two divisions. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so the next division I will show here is American West. So in overall for American West, I think they have three teams to compete. They have three teams to compete for the championship for their divisions. So the first team I will show here is Houston Astros. You got 86 wins and 76 losses. So for Houston, he got 86 wins. So for these few years, they just lose a lot of all-star level players, who just helped the team to win the championship in 2017 and 2022. But he's still very competitive. Yeah, and you can also say that other teams are not strong enough so that they still have a chance to get a championship. And in my top 200 players, so for Houston, for my top 200 players, of course, the first one I'll show you is Jordan Alvarez. Yeah, I think he's become the best player in the Houston. Yeah, and I think he will become. I think he's the best DH in the league, except Shohei Ohtani. Yeah. And next player I will show is Jose Altuve. So for this year, he will become the left fielder in the new season, and I think he will become. I think he still can maintain his hitting, but and we can follow how well does Jose Altuve can play in the outfield. That's we can watch. So and the next player I will show is Isaac Pedres. So I think they just lose Alex Bregman and they just found Isaac Pedres. I think this compensate I think is not bad. Even though he can maybe he cannot not to be better than Alex, but I think it is a very good choice for them. And next one I'll show is Farmer Valdez. So I think he is still the ace of the team, and I think he still can play a very important role. I think he's still the ace. Yeah. And the next player I'll show here is Jeremy Pena. So last year he still can play very, very well. At least very stable. Like the past two seasons, he can contribute 2.8 WAR value for each year. So I think he's become the team's the team's unmovable shortstops. Yeah, in the new generation. So the next player I will show is Tristan Walker. So he will become the first baseman in the team. Yeah, and the past 2 years, like Yuri Gurriel, he is their first baseman, and he just become more degenerate and more struggle year for a year. So this year they just find a Tristan Walker. So I think it will be a little better than Yuri Gurriel, but how much better Tristan Walker can contribute. So we just can keep watching. And the next player is Yenier Diaz. So I think he is a good catcher in the league, and also he will become more better based on the prediction for Fangraphs. And the next one I will show is Josh Hader. Yeah, so I think he's still a closer in the team, and also even though last year he didn't play very well, but I think for a reliever picture, I think no one can replace his position. So I think Josh Hader is still the closer, and also he's the one of the top closer in the league. Yeah, and next one is Chase McCormick. Yeah, and last year he's become a little struggle, but he played very well in 2023. So for this year I think maybe he will not as good as 2023, but I think he can contribute. It is not very hard to him to contribute to WAR value. So this is the whole list of my top 200 players. So the first one we got Jordan Alvarez, he got number 8, and next one is Jose Altuve, he got number 41, and next one they will show Isaac Pedres, he got number 63, and next one they will show Farmer Valdez, he got number 67. Next one will show Jermaine Pena, he got number 76. Next one I will show Tristan Walker, I will show number 95. And next one is Yenier Diaz, he got number 131. And next one is Josh Hader, he got 145. And the last one is Chase McCormick, he got 198. It's the border of my top 200. So I will show, so for Houston Astros, they have 9 players in my top 200 player. Okay, so for the second team I show here is Seattle Mariners. I will predict them 85 wins and 77 losses. So actually for Seattle, I think so last year they are very good at pitching, but their lineup for their hitting I think is very worse. It's very very worse for their batting, but last year they still have a chance to go into the playoffs. Yeah, but they didn't get in. But this year I think they will still have enough competitive to go into the playoffs. Okay, so the first year I'll show here is Cal Raleigh. So So he played very well for past 2 years, and he got 4.6 WAR value in 2023, and last year got 4.5 WAR value, and he just become the most contribute player in their team, and as a catcher, he's also got the most. He also got the most contribution in his position. Yeah, for based on his good performance for past 2 years, and I truly believe him. Maybe he can still become one of the top catcher in the league. And next one is Julio Rodriguez, and actually so for Julio Rodriguez, actually he is still a very top player for in the major league, but last year he only got 3.8 WAR value. Actually, he didn't play very well in his standard. So maybe he will become bounce back. Maybe he'll become bounce back. Yeah, for 3.8, I think he did not reach his standard. Yeah, and next one, and the next three player I will show here is their starting picture, and I think these three pictures are very strong enough, and I think, and also the ranking for these three are very close. So I think I will put them together. Yeah, I think if you follow the rotation in Seattle, I think you know what I'm talking about. The first one is Logan Gilbert. Next one is Luis Castillo, and third one is George Kirby. Yeah, and just based on performance last year, George Kirby is the best one, and Logan Gilbert, actually not bad, but a little worse than Kirby, and Luis Castillo. I think he's got a little struggle for last year, but he still got 2.3 WAR value. So even for that, the top three picture, I think they are very strong enough, and actually their ranking actually is very close. So Logan Gilbert got number 58, and Luis Castillo is got number 61. George Kirby is got number 65. So I think for a starting rotation, I think for Seattle they got very close. Very close for them. Yeah, and the next one I'll show here is Randy Arozarena. So for Randy, I think last year it didn't play very well, even for whatever in Tampa Bay or in Seattle. He didn't play very well. And this year, I think maybe he'll become better if he can just return back to like his performance in 2023. Maybe he'll be a very good improvement for the hitting side of the team. Yeah. The next player I will show is J.P. Crawford. So actually he played very well in 2023, but he became struggle for last year. So maybe this year will become bounce back, but although he cannot just back to his performance in 2023, maybe he can got like three war. I think it's not too hard for him to contribute 3 war for this season. Just because he just got a 4.9 war value for 2023. So if he can bounce back like 60%, for in 2023, I think it will be a much improvement for the starting lineup for their hitters in Seattle. So okay, so I will show 8 players in my top 200 list. So the first one is Cole Ryan. He got number 11. And next one is Julio Rodriguez. He got number 16. And next is Logan Gilbert. He got number 58. And next one is Luis Castillo. He got number 61. And next one is George Kirby. He got number 65. Next one is Randy Arozarena. He got number 82. And next one is JP Crawford. He got number 102. Oh, I got 7. Yeah, I got 7 players, not 8 players. I got 7 players in my top 200 list. Okay, so my top 2 teams is Houston Astros and Seattle Mariners. I think, and number 3 I think is not hard to predict. Yeah, is Texas Rangers. I predict them in 83 wins and 79 losses. So for my top 200 players in Texas. For of course the first one, of course, is Corey Seager. Yeah, and I think Corey Seager. He still play very well in the Texas, and maybe last year I think it's a little. Maybe a little struggle, but he still got 4.5 WAR. So I think he is still a top player in the league. And the next one is Marcus Semien. Yeah, just a similar situation to Corey Seager. He is like a little struggle for last season, but he still got 4.1 WAR value. So I think he is still one of the top second basemen in the league. Yeah, but the next player I think is actually very struggle. This player is Adolis Garcia. So last year he played he had a good performance in 2023, and he is an important factor to win the championship in 2023. But he got very struggle for last year, so I think this is why their starting lineup become maybe not very good. So this year I think maybe they'll have a bounce back, but maybe not enough. Maybe not as good as in 2023. But if he can contribute like 2 to 3 WAR value, I think it is still an improvement. And next player I will show here is Walt Longford. So I think he's one of the top prospect in the team, and he played well in the last season, especially some of the players got very struggle last year, and this year I think it will become, maybe you will have more breakthrough, maybe, and at least in Fangraph they predict he will have a 4.2 WAR value. So maybe we can notice this player in this season, and how much and how much performance he can contribute. And this is what we can notice. And next player I'll show is Jock Peterson. And for Jock, I think he actually like have maybe he has a struggle in 2023, and this year is a little comeback, and I think he will become the DH in the team. Yeah. And next player I'll show is Jonah Heim. Yeah, for Jonah Heim, I think he is another factor. He is another factor that Texas can win the championship. Yeah, but for last year, just the same as Adolis Garcia, both of them got very struggle. So this year, how much they can bounce back is a very important thing for them. And the next player I'll show is Jake Berger. Of course, he's also another prospect of a team. Yeah, and last year he's only got 1.3, but it's not very well, but I think if he can like got two war value in this season, I think it'll be a good season for him. And next player is Laudy Traveris. So of course last year he's also got very struggle, and this year for Fangraph predict him will have a breakthrough season. So let's just watching. And also another player I'll show here is John Gray. So for John Gray, I think even though he's a very senior pitcher, but his performance, I think, is still very stable and very competitive. So for the past 2 years, he contribute 1.8 WAR value for each year. So for this year, even though he can maybe he will not show a very top performance, but just a number 2, number 3, even for number 4 starting pitcher, his performance is very good. And the next player I'll show here is Jacob deGrom. Yeah. So for the past 2 years, he's just got injury issues. But he's one of the top pitcher when he was healthy. But however, after he got injury in past 2 seasons, can he just contribute a very top level performance in his new season? And most important is, can he still healthy? But based on his performance and resume for past few years, but I still trust him. So I put him in the border of my list. Okay, so here's the list for my top 200 players. The first one is Corey Seager. He got number 7. And next one is Marcus Semien. He got number 12. And next one is Adolis Garcia. He got 104. And next one is Juan Lenford. He got 128. And next one is Jock Peterson. He got 136. And next one is Jonah Heim. He got 144. And next one is Jake Berger. He got 151. And next one is Laudy Traveris. He got 181. And next one is John Gray. He got 187. And last one is Jacob deGrom. He got 193. So here I just show the 10 player. I just show the 10 players in my 200 player list. Okay, so the next thing I will show here is also the number four in the American West is Oakland Athletes. I think they got 71 wins and 91 losses. So for Oakland, I think they got a very worst season for the past 2 to 3 years. But last year I think they just got a little breakthrough. So I think so that means that some of their top prospect maybe can just go into the major league. So I think this year I think maybe they still cannot go into the playoffs, but I think they will become more, I think, a little better than last season. Just based on how much top prospects can get into the major league. And I will show here their top 200 players. Okay, so for my top 200 players, the first one I want to show is Brent Rooker. So I think he played very well for last season. Last season is his breakthrough year. They got 5.1 WAR value. I think he's the best player in Auckland in last season. And for this season, maybe he will not just as well as last season, but I think he can just contribute like 3.5 to 4 WAR value for him. I think it's not difficult to him. And the next player I'll show here is Mason Miller, and Mason Miller, I think he just become the top closer in the league for last season. So I think he still become the top closer in the league. And next player I'll show is Shea Langeliers, and he is also the top prospect of the catcher. Yeah. So, and of course this year I think he's still their starting catcher, and he'll just I think he'll just growing up to become the top of the catcher this year. And the next player I'll show here is Lawrence Butler, and for Lawrence I think he's also the breakthrough year for this season, and also he's the top prospect for the team. And maybe this season, maybe his performance this year maybe not as well as last year, but he can just contribute 2 to 3 WAR value. I think it's good enough for the team. And the next player is Zach Juloff. For Zach, I think last year I just mentioned he's the top prospect for the team, but for last year actually he didn't play very well. At least his performance is lower than our expectation. So maybe this year he can become more improvement. And also he's young enough. Maybe he still have a chance to break through his performance into a better level. Yeah. And so For Auckland, I just show 5 players in my top 200 players. The first one is Brent Rooker, so he is in number 90. And next one is Mason Miller, he got 117. And next one is Shane Langeliers, he got 159. And next one is Lawrence Butler, he got 177. And last one is Zach Joloffe, he got 190. And I think another player I can mention is Taylor Stonestrom. So he's the first baseman. He's the first baseman in Auckland for this season. And even though he didn't put into my top 200 player, but in this season he played very well. He just hit 9 home runs for this season, and he just become, and so far he's just become one of the top player in the league. So we can just notice his performance. Okay, so this is for Auckland. And next one is Los Angeles Angels. He's the last team. He is the last team in American West, and I will just predict them 64 wins and 98 losses. And for my top 100 players for them, for top 200 players, of course, their best player is still Mike Trout. Even though Mike Trout he got very much injury issues for the past few years, but he's still the best player. He's still the best player in their team, and yeah. So this is why Los Angeles still in the last spot. And next player I'll show is Zach Neto, and he's their shortstop, and he just got his breakthrough year, and he got 3.5 WAR value. Actually, he's the best. He is the best player for last season, and this year he will got 3. He will become. I think he will become better. At least he can maintain his performance in last year. Yeah, and the next one I'll show is Kenley Jansen. So Kenley Jansen is also a very senior closer, but he's still very top. But he's still a top closer in the league. Yeah, so there's only 3 players. There's only 3 players in the Los Angeles Angels. So except Zach Neto, the other two is a senior player. So this is why I cannot put them into a better stop. This is why they're still in the last spot. They have only 3 players. The first one is Mike Trout. He's in number 24. And next one is Zach Neto. He got 141. And next one is Kenley Jansen. He got 174. Okay, so this is the whole list of my American West. Okay, so this is the end of the American League. So next division, we are talking about the National League. And the first one I will show you the National East. So the first thing I will show in the National East is Atlanta Braves. So for Atlanta, I think last year because some of the players got struggle and some of players got and a lot of players got injury issues, like Ronald Acuna Jr. and their ace Spencer Strider. Even though Chris Sale won the Cy Young Award last year, but that's not enough to their loss. So this year, I think after their players become healthy, I think maybe they will become the top team again. So this year I will predict they got 91 wins and 71 losses. So in my top 200 player list, the first player I will show is Ronald Acuna Jr. And of course, last year he just got injured and missed most of the games. And this year I think he'll come back and maybe even he cannot just like have an MVP levels performance, but I think it is not hard for him to play for a 5 WAR in this season. Yeah. And the next player is Austin Riley. And Austin Riley, I think, maybe he does not have too much injury issue, but he did not play very well last season, and he only got 2.3 WAR value. So maybe this year can be a little bit bounce back to return his required performance. Yeah, and he is still one of the top third basemen in the league. And the next player I will show is Matt Olson. Yeah, of course, Matt Olson, he didn't play very well. Yeah, especially if we compare to his performance in 2023. And last year he only got 2.5 WAR value, and he just 4 less than his performance in 2023. And this year maybe will be you will not to become worse to this season, but it is not very but it is also difficult to come back to his performance in 2023. Yeah, because in that year he just won a home run. He just won a home run championship, and he got 6.7 WAR value in 2023, and it is not very. Maybe it's hard to like return to that performance, even you are the top of the player, and even if you are a top of player, it is also very difficult to keep 6 WAR value in every single season. So, but it is not hard to like contribute like 4 to 5 WAR in the new season. And next player is Sean Murphy. Yeah, he also didn't play very well, but he is still one of the top catcher in the league. So we will still have a reason to expect his value at least 3 WAR, at least 3 or more WAR value. And next player is Michael Harris II. Yeah, also he didn't play very well. But for Fangraphs, but the prediction from Fangraph, he will become a breakthrough year for this season. So maybe we still can get expectation for him. Yeah, and the next player is Chris Sale, and Chris Sale actually he has struggled for the past few years because of his injury issue. But last year he just joined the Atlanta Braves, and he just come back to his ace performance and just won a Cy Young award, and he is almost 36 years old, and he is very and it is not in his peak, but in theoretically, this time is not. It is very hard to return back to his peak period. But last year he just create another peak performance in Atlanta, and he won the Cy Young Award. And this year, I think he is still the ace of the team, but it is very hard to to repeat this Cy Young performance. But I think it's good enough to become the ace pitcher in the team. And next one I will show is Spencer Strider. And yeah, of course, Spencer Strider, I think, is also the ace in the team. But last year he just got injured, so he just missed almost all the game. So, and this season he just come back, and also he still have very strong strength, and he is very good at strikeouts, and maybe he still can become the top of the pitcher in the league. And I think whoever Chris Sale or Spencer Strider will become the ace, but I think both of them are very top pitcher in the team or in major league. And next player I'll show you is Marcell Ozuna. Yeah, of course, Marcell Ozuna, he played very well last year and got 4.67 WAR value. And this year, I think maybe not as good as last season, but I think he can. But maybe it's not difficult to contribute 2.5 to 3.5 WAR value. So I think he is a very important role in the starting lineup in the Atlanta Braves. And next player I'll show here is Ozzie Albies, and he is the second baseman in Atlanta. But last year he got a little struggle, so maybe this year can become bounce back. But even though it is hard to return his performance in 2023, but I think it is not hard to contribute 2 or 2.5 WAR value. Yeah, I think he is still very important in the team. And next player I will show you is Rachel Iglesias, and he is the closer in Atlanta. Yeah, and I think his performance has much improved in last season, and I think this year he's still one of the top closer in the league. So I have 10 players in my top 200 list, and the first player is Ronald Acuna Jr. He's got number 21. And next player is Austin Riley. He is in number 30. And next one is Matt Olson. He's in number 43. And next one is Sean Murphy. He's got number 50. And next one is Michael Harris second. He's got number 52. And next one is Chris Sale. He got number 53. Next one is Spencer Strider. He got number 79. And next one is Marcell Ozuna. He got number 81. And next one is Ozzie Albies. He got 139. And the last player is Rachel Iglesias. He got 167. And we got 10 players in my top 200 list. So in the second team in National East is Philadelphia Phillies. So I will predict them in 89 wins and 73 losses. So in my top 200 player for Philadelphia, the first one is of course Zach Wheeler. He is still one of the top pitcher in the league, and I think he's still the ace of the team if he didn't have any injury issue. So of course he is still the top player in the league. And the next player here I will show you is Trey Turner. So Trey Turner, I think that's in the past 2 seasons, I think maybe his performance did not match our expectation. It's only 3.8 to 3.9, but I think he is still one of the top shortstop in the league, and also in Fangraph we will predict him will got 4.4. This is why this is why he didn't play well for past 2 seasons, just because in his not just because he just contributed a much more better performance for the past season. So this is why he is still very top. And next player I'll show you is Bryce Harper. So he's the first baseman in the league, and last year actually he played very well. He got 5.2 WAR value, and I think he's still one of the best hitter in the league or in the team. So yeah, and the next player I'll show here is Aaron Nola. So Aaron Nola, I think he's still he's still a top pitcher in the league. Maybe he's not as strong as Zach Wheeler, but for the past 2 years, but he is still a top pitcher in the league, and he still can got like 3 to 4 WAR value in a single season. So maybe he's not an ace, but but as a second pitcher, I think he is still very good. And the next player I will show you is JT Realmuto. And for JT, I think for the past 2 years, I think it's a little struggle, but I think he's still one of the top catcher in the league, and also in this year, I think he have some I think he still have some bounce back, just because for FanGraph they just predict him like he will got 2.9 WAR value in new season, which is double for his performance in 2023. So I think he's still the top of the catcher in the league. And next player I think is Kyle Schwarber. Yeah, and I think he's still the good hitter in the team. So, and last year actually he played something good. He had 3.4 WAR value, and also this season the FanGraph predict him will have 2.5 WAR value. It's also not bad. So I think he still play very well and also play an important role in the team. And next player is Rangers Suarez. So, and I think he is also the top pitcher in the league, except Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. And I think this year he still can got a very good performance as a third pitcher. So I think this is why the Philadelphia has very strong rotation, because we have Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola and Rangers Suarez. We have a very strong rotation. So yeah, so this is why they can win the East Championship. And next one is Bryson Scott. And he is the second baseman in Philadelphia, and he also plays very important role, even though he has a little struggle in that season. But I think many people think that he will become a little bounce back. Maybe not as well as his performance in 2023, but I think it is not difficult for him to give a 2.5 WAR value. And next player is Alec Bohm. Yeah, so I think for Alec Bohm, I think he has a breakthrough year for last season. He got 3.5 WAR value, and I think this year at least he can maintain his performance just as last year. So I think he is still a very top hitter in the league. And next one is Max Kepler. So For Max Kepler, I think he didn't play well last season, but this year he is in Philadelphia. I think maybe he will have some bounce back, but how much he can come back, so we need to notice. And next one is Christopher Sanchez, and actually he's another starting pitcher, and he played very well and got a lot of breakthrough, and also in this season, I think he still can got a very good performance. Maybe not as well as last season, but I think he still can have a good performance, especially in the middle rotation. I think you did very well. So we have 11 players in my top 200 list. So the first player is Zach Wheeler. He got number 15. And next one is Trey Turner. We got number 17. And next one is Bryce Harper. He got number 23. And next one is Aaron Nola. He got number 48. And next one is JT Realmuto. He got number 93. And next one is Kyle Schwarber. He got number 94. And next one is Ranger Suarez. He got 132. And next one is Bryson Scott. He got 135. And next one is Alec Bohm. He's got 149. And next one is Max Kepler. He got 171. And last one is Christopher Sanchez. He got 197. Yeah, so for the third team I will show you in the National East is New York Mets, and they will got 85 wins and 77 losses. And last year, I think it's a very big surprise for them, just because they just got into the national finals, but they just loses to Los Angeles Dodgers, but last year I think for them is a very successful season. So for my top 200 players for New York Mets this season, the first one is of course Juan Soto. Yeah, he is one of the best players in the league. Yeah, and last year he got 8 WAR value for last season, but he didn't win the MVP just because they have two monsters, Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr. They won 10 WAR value, so this is why he cannot just got an MVP. But in the National League, I think he still have a chance to win the MVP. Except Shohei Ohtani, I think he is the best hitter in the league. And he just signed us a 15-year and $750 million contract to New York Mets. So I think of course Juan Soto will become the core player in the team. And the next player is Francisco Lindor. And I think Lindor has got another amazing season for last year, and he also got 7.7 WAR value, and he is also and he and Juan Soto are the best hitter in the league. So for New York Mets, they got 2 of the top hitter in the league. I think they'll be very strong. And next player I'll show you is Brandon Nimmo. And so for Brandon Nimmo, maybe he did not play very well he got a little struggle for last season, but I think he is still a very important player for the team. Yeah, next player is Pete Alonso. So for him, I think I think maybe so for Pete Alonso, I think he's as a man player of the a long-term hitter. So he still plays a very important role in the league. And even though he's got a little struggle for last year, but this year I think they got Juan Soto, and maybe you will be motivated by him, and he can get like improve himself to get a better performance. And next player is Jeff McNeil. Yeah, and also Jeff McNeil is also got a little struggle for last season. But I think this year, I think he still can be bounced back. I think at least, I think it's not very hard for him to have a 2 WAR value in a single season. Next one is Francisco Alvarez, and this is their catcher. And I think he will become. I think he's still the starting catcher in this season, and I think he still can play very well. And next one is Mark Vintos. He is their third baseman, and he is also a top prospect in the team. And also last year is his breakthrough year, and he's got almost 3 WAR value. And many experts and at least Fangraph, I think they think he will become more improvement. So I think he will become at least 3 WAR value. And the next player is Edwin Diaz. So for Edwin Diaz, I think even though he got injury issue for past 2 seasons, but I think he's still one of the top closer in the league. So I think he's still the top closer. So in summary, we have 8 players in my top 200 players. The first player is of course Juan Soto, and he got number 3, and Francisco Lindor is number 4. So New York Mets got 2 of the top 5 players. So they will be very strong, of course. And next one is Brandon Nimmo. He got number 47. And next one is Pete Alonso. He got number 59. And next one is Jeff McNeil. He got 113. And next one is Francisco Alvarez. He got 156. And next one is Mark Vintos. He got 176. And also we got Edwin Diaz. He got 195. Okay, so the number 4 in the National East is Washington Nationals. So for Washington, I think they just rebuilt their team for past 2 to 3 years, and I think this year they got a little better, but it's still very hard to beat the top 3 team in their division. So I think they still got number 4, and they got 73 wins and 89 losses. And so my top 200 players in Washington Nationals. So for Washington Nationals, I think there are two players in my top 200 players. First one is DJ Abrams. So I think he's the main core of this younger generation. So also he's the first player of their top prospect into the major league, and for the past 2 years they got he's contributed like around 2 WAR value, and this year I think many experts, I think they have some, he has some improvement. And And the next player I will show is Nathaniel Lowe, and he also plays very important role for Texas Rangers to win the championship. And last year he went to the Washington, and he also played a very good performance. Yeah, and this year I think he still can get 2 to 3 WAR value for this season, and I think he's still a starting first baseman in the team. Yeah, so for Washington, yeah, we only have 2 players. The first one is CJ Abrams. He got 116. And the next one is Nathan Lowe. He got 142. Okay, so the last team I'll show in the National East is Miami. Is the Miami Marlins, and they just started to like rebuild their team last season. So I think this year I think they still rebuild their team and their prospect. I think they just recollect their top prospects, and I think most of them are still in the minor league. So for Miami, in my top 200 players, it's only one. It's Sandy Alcantara. So last year, I think he's got injured. So he didn't play very well. But this season, he's still the ace of the team just because they just don't have any good player in their team. So I think there's only Sandy Alcantara can put into my top 200 players, and he's got 115. Okay, so this is my team analysis for my National East. Okay, so here's the wrap of this episode, and we'll see you next time. Bye.